Okay. There is a need here for planning, um, for focus and organization to form a solid foundation. What I'm seeing here is someone who is dealing with wounding that came when they were young, when they were a child, when they were forming their perception of themselves and the world outside of them. And I feel like there was a lot of injury that occurred mentally, possibly even physically, um, when this person was younger. And because of the scarring that came from youth and the wounds there, this person's life so far has been very up and down, um, unstable. They felt unstable within themselves and their relationships and connections. And Spirit is now calling for this person to allow for the awareness of the preconceived notions that they have of themselves and their expectations of themselves and others, and to be patient, find peace, take things slow, and understand that they have a knowledge of uh, what it takes for them to succeed. If you can go back to when you were, happy and playful, innocent, and open to new experiences. Remember when you were a kid and you honestly believed like you could do anything? And then the limitations are placed upon us. It's like Spirit's asking you to go back to that space and build a more solid foundation for your self perception, a more solid foundation to build on, strength of who you are and how protected you are. And the way you've done things in the past, choose differently, because the way you did things in the past was based upon you not being aware of the patterns and perceptions that you had incurred from the injuries, the hurts that happened when you were a child. There's something here about health, um, and possibly like an addiction. It could be a drinking problem, some type of substance, or it could be an addiction to what feels familiar, but ultimately just continues to injure in the same way that we were injured when we were children, right? It's not good for you, whether that's a behavior or a type of person that we choose to relate to or be in relationships with. And what I'm getting here is that Spirit is asking you to focus on the hurt. Ask the questions of yourself to see where it originated. Go, focus, find that place. And once you find that place, you're better able to heal it. And then you make a plan to succeed, right? You make a plan on conquering your addiction. If it's a substance, you make a plan on how you will begin to wean yourself off of the substance, how you will quit using the substance. If you've already quit using, you will make a plan on how you will not turn back to the substance when you come up against um, some type of emotional turmoil, when that hurt or injury is triggered again. You have a plan in place on how you will not return to your addiction. And if it is people that we are addicted to, people, types of situations that um, are in alignment with that pain point that we have, make a plan for how you are going to end these relationships that are not in alignment with your healed and whole self, but are really more in alignment with the hurt you, the injured you, the part of you that you haven't went and dealt with, right? Make a plan on how you'll leave these people, how you'll remove yourself from these situations and relationships, and make a plan for dealing with those times when you're feeling lonely, those times when you are desiring the validation of another, the times where that part of you, that injured part of you, is calling out for that addiction, that substance, that person. Have a plan on how you will alternatively deal with it instead of returning to the addiction. And Spirit wants you to have a plan because it is important at this moment, for whatever reason, at this cycle, this point of the cycle in your life. Um, and this is a repeating cycle. Like, you've been through this before. You've, gotten off the wagon. I'm never going to drink again. And of course, you went back to it. You have, I'm never going to deal with that person again. And then you go back to them. I'm never going to do X. I'm never going to spend all this money on something, frivolous. And then you do it again. Right. So, Spirit's asking you, in order for you to step out of that cycle, have a plan on how you're going to break the cycle. And at this point in your cycling, it is very important for your mental and physical health that you break the cycle. As you went back and forth through this cycle, it's been okay. But now you need a plan on how to exit this, because it is detrimental to your well-being. I just get a very urgency about that. Like, no more cycling. It is now time to end the cycle. Start fresh, a new mindset, plan to do something new. And when you make a plan, right? Plans aren't, for me, in my opinion, plans aren't like set in stone, right? You have plans so that you have like a roadmap, but you have to still remain adaptable, um, so that if something happens and there's a detour or the plan needs to be altered, it's okay because you have a baseline. So you can detour, but then you have somewhere to come back to. If you have no plan, then it's utter chaos. You don't even know when it is a detour. You don't even know when you are off course. And what usually happens is we continue in the cycle. There's no plan, there's no room for adaptability because everything is just everything, right? And so we usually just revert to what is comfortable, what is familiar, what is our usual pattern and cycle. And right now, Spirit is saying that is not going to be good for you. You may not even be able to cycle back out of this, right? If you cycle in this again, you don't make a plan to break out of it, this cycle is going to be like the worst one. Oh, this is very, I didn't see this as like a heavy reading, but that's what it feels like here. Have a plan on how you're going to succeed in beating this cycle this time. Because if you don't, it could be very detrimental, yeah, to your well being. But there's also protection and guidance here. And they're not saying that you have to rush and do this now. Be aware and make choices and decisions from that awareness, from that aware space, and make plans to succeed in breaking the cycle. As always, trust the divinity in you. Peace.